Hey, you guys. Today I'm here to set the record straight about the rumors that's been going around about my twin flame because a lot of things they said are not true, and I think it's time to speak up about it. Okay, so before I could talk about him, I have to talk about my fallen twin flame first because I've had two twin flames in this lifetime. So in this lifetime, I've had a fallen twin flame and a true twin flame, and I met both of them. Both of them had the test, or both of them had the choice to choose me or choose their path. Everybody got free will. Both of them chose different than me. Um, what what my fallen twin flame did, which is my first ex husband. I've been married twice and divorced twice. What he did that was more prevalent to us today is that for some reason, he is still holding on to trying to ruin me for some reason. He's been smearing my name with other people that he's calculated together, all together. Um, they made some type of hit on me as far as smearing me with trying to ruin my reputation. Every time I had a job, see if I find a way to get them lost from me, even with the last two jobs. Um, and I've been fighting against that for a very long time, for since the time him and I've been married, actually. Um, but we were married, like I said, 13 years together, 15 years to the point of the whole marriage and then divorce. 13 years together, 2 years apart until the divorce. Okay. Anyways, he chose another girl that I guess, was very Jezebelish, I guess you could say. Because I'm not that type of person. I'm not a person to sleep around with everybody. When I choose a person, I want that person, and that's all I want. But he, just like I'm going to talk about next, he was a player. And, when we first met, he kind of showed it, but when we got in the relationship, it was like, I thought it was just me. I thought he was just loyal to me until I found out, actually, after we got married, that, a year or so later, that of course that wasn't true. But I still stayed because of the kids. So by the time he left, and I guess I was, my intuition or God tells me that uh, there was this ultimatum between him and that girl that he decided to choose after me. Well, I mean, I was ready to leave anyways. I've been ready to leave forever. She actually gave me an out. So, whatever games they tried to play afterwards, after I was out of the picture, didn't mean nothing to me because I had moved on. I was ready to get out of it, out of a loveless relationship to begin with, a loveless marriage. So, I didn't care whatever they did, whatever, but I did not know that they were messing with my reputation. I was just going on with my life, trying to live. Um, Things would happen to where I would lose things, but I keep trotting along. I keep going. I wouldn't give up because I still felt that I can succeed in whatever I put myself to. So, I could do anything. So if I quit a job, got fired, got a job, got laid off from a job, whatever, um, I can always find another one because that's how it was. So, yeah, so when God, the fallen twin flame said that just like the truth twin flame said, they both prayed to God and asked for the perfect person for them to come into their life, okay? And when I came into their life for the fallen twin flame, he didn't like it, of course. So since he felt like he couldn't get out of it, he decided to make my life a living hell. Well, if I have to do what God says, well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ruin her. I'm going to make sure she never gets on her feet. Blah, 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 blah. And that's what he tried to do for many years. And to this day, he has not succeeded, period. I still overcame all of it, and I'm still overcoming it. Because I was told that he still grabbed other people along the way after I divorced him and everything to still try to ruin my name, still try to ruin my next relationships, try to ruin the jobs. I did not know he was ruining the jobs in the marriage during the time I was in the marriage. I didn't know all this until like the past year. But I didn't really know about the relationship thing until a few months ago. But anyways, so I was told that there are a lot of fake pages that they try to put on me that's not me, to where they were actually talking to people that were going with me. I had nothing to do with that. I don't know anything about that. I wonder why there would be one way, a certain way, it would be all okay on the dates or whatever, and then all of a sudden it'll change, all of a sudden their face and their expressions of me all of a sudden would go downhill. Well, they were ruining my name to even my relationships. Anyways, moving right along. So the person he chose was an actual downgrade from me. So, you know how they say grass wasn't greener on the other side? Well, yeah, he went into that relationship after me. Well, actually, he did a little girlfriend. Then he went to her, who he's with right now. I don't know if he's still with her or whatever. I'm not in his life. I haven't been in his life since I paid my last child support payment this year around March. Okay. And that was through a text. I can't stand the dude to even be around him, so I don't even try. But I'm to the point of he don't even faze me anymore, because my peace means everything to me right now. So anyways, that was him. So my true twin flame, I met him a few months ago. And okay, so God loves me. Okay? And he knows me. Okay? So to set the record straight, I am a woman that has needs. When I met my twin, we had a wonderful night together. Yes. We celebrate whatever we had together when we first met. We connected really well. We had a great night that was very, very memorable for not only me but him. And that is one of the reasons why when everything did happen, I told him, I warned him. I said that once he be with me, he can't go back to his old life because of the fact that I'm different. I'm rare. I'm very rare. And he had to find that out the hard way. He just didn't want to believe me, but he found out. Anyways, by the time I met my twin, I was working on myself, and I had a job that I was doing pretty well with. And so when I met him, I was pretty independent. I had been independent for a very long time. I raised 2 families. Come on now. So yeah. So when I met him, I wasn't looking for him to be my twin. I mean, but it happened. And there's an age difference. There is a huge age difference. And I am older than him. But it doesn't matter. I got to tell you the story. On Christmas morning, it was still dark. It was early in the morning, this past Christmas. I had some type of huge vision attack on me. I don't know if that's what you call it, or imagery, or I don't know. Something shifted in me to where when I had this happen, I found out what happened after I woke up from my last death from my last life, and why I came back, why I completely came back. So there have been like little slips of visions of why I came back, and but it didn't, it was just like things here and there of what happened. But on Christmas morning, I was able to see the whole thing of the reason I came back and why it was important for me to come back, or why I thought it was important at the time. So when I died in my last life, my my twin that I just met, he was there in that life. We were together, and he did something to where he regrets from that life, to where, so I have gifts, I have gifts, I have abilities, and in the life that we were in before, didn't weren't too keen to those abilities. They thought I was a person of witchcraft or whatever, so they had me killed at a very early age. So when I woke up to my life that I have when I don't go into my life. Um, and it was very, very boring and mundane, because when I woke up, I didn't have my kids, I didn't have my husband. I just woke up to numbness and pain of boredom, of not being around my life mate. And all this came to me Christmas morning. So let me continue. So by me going through my everyday normal thing, doing things because I'm a soldier for God and everything, going through all that, I was missing him very drastically. And I knew I had died very young, and I didn't know if he followed after me, or how long it took him to die. He could have had a very long life in that last life. I don't know if he did. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that I woke up from that last life, and I had completed my lives at that time, and I was I was depressed about it because my life mate wasn't there. Um, and the only thing I could think of to feel better was to grab another life and go back and find him no matter if he's old or not. I was going to find him and be with him no matter what. I was going to come back. But what I felt like was a plan, there's different things that happen, when you're grabbing a life. And the life that I grabbed, which was the hardest life and only life left to get, I was desperate. I advocated for it. I was like, cool, I could kill two birds with one stone. I can help God do what he needs to do, and I could get my mate back, okay? Well, I jumped into this body, and but I forgot I had to be born into another family to go through this life again. And because I died so young and he probably lived a way longer life after me, that is the reason for the age gap. So I jumped in the body, and when he finally died, he woke up, and this is what it's telling me in these visions that I had on Christmas. He wakes up, he does the same thing I did. I'm not there when he wakes up. So what he does, he finds out that I jumped in another body. So he goes and he jumps in another life. But come to find out, it was a big space. So when I found my twin a few months ago, it was him, but he was way younger than who he truly is. He's actually older than me. So he's in a young body, but he's older than me, if that makes any sense. But that's spirituality, so there you go. That's why they call it the twin flame journey. Well, anyways, So when I met him, the reason why God had me meet him at this time was because the plan that he came up with for us to get together, I had to awaken him because he was not awakened when I met him. He was not aligned. He was in his ego. He was doing what he did as what he knew. And and by the time I met him, I had already been at so many ways, so many experiences too, to the point that made me way over the age that he was, even though he's still older than me in a younger body. If you can all make sense with that. Okay, so we're talking about the twin flame journey right now. My twin flame journey. So when I met him, he was still going through like some of the same things that happened to me when I was younger. There was a time where I wanted to play the field, and that's what he was doing, was playing the field. But what was similar to my fallen twin flame was that both of them were players. The difference is, even though he chose someone else because that someone else agreed with his lifestyle that he had at the time and didn't care, and I'm more of a person who cared, he went back to her and told me, that we weren't really nobody. So before that happened, before he told me that, before I found out about that, I had a talk with God, and God had explained to me everything that was going to happen. So one day I was talking to God. We had this hour conversation, and I asked him, is such and such my twin? And he said, yeah, he's your mate. This is what God said. He said, yes, he is your mate, and you guys will have twins. And that was the third confirmation of a prophecy that was told to me twice, in my 30s and in my early 40s, that I was not done. I was going to have twins. So my fallen twin flame knew about this union that was supposed to happen, and he was trying to block that as well. And so he made sure to try to block that. He got my tubes tied when I was 31, right after my daughter was born, a year after. And he tried to tell me that I had to get it because he didn't want me having any other babies with him, because of course, he didn't want me to die. That was his reasoning for it. But he never got a vasectomy later, so go figure. Anyways, the reason I'm saying this is he thought by getting my tubes tied that I wouldn't be able to have any more kids. Hence, I wouldn't be able to fill my end of the bargain when it comes to me getting with my true flame. But that's not necessarily true, because of the fact that each of our lifetimes we've had kids before, the same kids. No matter if my tube's tied, I've been shot in my side, been a hysterectomy, whatever. I don't have a hysterectomy. I still have my whole body, by the way. I was going to have more kids because with him, they automatically come. So no matter what the age I am and we get in union, we are supposed to have twins. And it will happen. Well, the reason it didn't happen this time when I got with him the first time is because it cannot happen until him and I are aligned again. He was not aligned with me at the time, so the babies could not come. So that's why I'm not pregnant. So I may look a little more weight, but that is a transition that I read up on that's actually true, where my weight fluctuates getting ready for the return of the alignment of him. So God told me that yes, he is my mate. Yes, we will have kids together. But he cannot come to me face to face. We cannot see each other face to face again until he comes to me correct. And I cannot go to him and find him. I had to wait for him to come to me. So wherever I needed to go and stay, I had to wait and sit and wait for the awakening to happen, and happened, I which happened later that month, to where he did go into awakening, the dark night of his soul, whatever you want to call it. And even though when he found out about that, he found out about it through me writing about it, with God channeling through me, which was very weird at the time, but it scared him to death as well. And he actually told me not to ever see him or his family ever again. So, but, this is how at this point, when he was telling me how mad he was at me at that point, he said something to me that nobody, he couldn't have known, even with his research. So this is how I knew for confirmation that my first ex-husband has been meddling in my relationships. The only people who knew about me going into the mental hospitals, which I have videos about why I went in before, would have been either my family or my ex-husband, my first ex-husband. I mean, pretty much would have told who would have meddled in. And how would my twin know about that? He must have gotten in contact with him, trying to get research on me, and he told him, because one of the things he told me when I was telling him these things that God told me to tell him, he said that I was unstable and that I was mental, and that I need to go back into a mental hospital because I've been in mental hospitals before already. He's done research on them. That right there was confirmation that he got it from my first ex-husband. And it was confirmation of everything I had the feeling for, that he had been trying to stop me for several years, even after I left and all that. So it was complete confirmation right there. But even though he said not to, for me to never see him again that day, he still was trying to talk to me, or I don't know if he stopped. I don't know what it was. All I know, the next day I decided that I'm just going to get myself out of the equation and go on, and because like I said, I already had the conversation with God, and at this time this was online. So when I talked to him or text him or whatever, it was it was during a time to where we never met face to face after that we never met face to face again after the talk I had with God. Let's just put it that way. And so I just knew that I had to wait on the transformation that was going to happen in his life. And because I knew once the transformation had happened, that he was going to choose me and that the union was going to work. That's why I made a videos ago about how you can only delay the reunion, but you cannot make it not happen, because the union is meant to be. So now he is going through those emotions of the resourcefulness, because he is not in his old energy anymore. That's gone now. His life, I mean, he had like a death of it and everything. And so whatever is happening in his life is he's not that anymore. He is actually a changed person. And now I'm just waiting for him to come back. So these rumors about me not caring, me going on and being with self, yes, I love myself. Yes, I'm doing things for myself. But I still want my mate. I still want him to come back. I still want us to be a union. I still want it to go all the way. That has not changed. So if people say that I detached, I have not detached. Period. I think of him too all the time. But I had to prioritize my life to where I still had to live. But it doesn't mean I stopped loving him. I just put it to the side and just put that on hold until he decides to come back into my life, which I hope is really, really soon, because boy, I'm so missing him right about now. But anyways, I love myself. I don't care for BS. But I also know that he is my mate and that him and I are supposed to be. So yes, no, I'm not with anybody else. I've turned them all away. They tried to come even still this week. But no, I am not dating no one else. I am dating him telepathically, my mate, my true twin flame. I am dating him. I feel him. And I know he could feel me. And I know he feels the same way. And I'm just waiting on him to come back. But even though I'm waiting for him to come back, that does not mean I put my life on hold. I'm still living my life. So that's the difference. So when these people, these readers, they read these cards and they say, oh yeah, Lucretia, this person has a new energy coming into her life. I was like, you guys, I wish you could see the whole story, because that is not true. Yes, it's a new energy, but that's because the old energy is not no longer because of his transformation. The new person that's coming back into my life is the same twin flame, the same one who had an ego the first time, who didn't treat me that well, but who will come back and will be the true husband or mate, or hopefully get to a husband, to the person I'm supposed to be as a union with him. He will be that when he come back. That's what God meant when he said that he needs to come back correct. And I believe it's going to happen, because I have complete faith in God that is happening. So what I do now, all I do is I think about him, make sure that he knows that I love him every day, and I still go on with my life. That's just how it is. And so that's it. Those are the rumors. I am going back to him because of the fact when I first met him, he was unaligned with me. But when he comes back, he will be completely aligned with me. And it would be the man that I've always wanted to be with again, in this lifetime, though, not the last one. So those are the rumors that are going around, saying that, oh no, I don't care about him. I don't want him. That's all a lie. It's a complete lie. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you like this video, please give you a thumbs up, and I see you next time. And like I said, if you want to donate to the ministry, there is a Cash App in my description box. Please go there and do that as well. You guys have a great evening, and I'll see you next time.